How to pad princess dart bustier. In this video, I would like to share with you different way I pad a princess dart bustier. And here is the soft wording for the material we're going to use. The two things are needed here, and the next one is the ST, the one I'm touching right now. Welcome back to my channel once again. You're welcome. And next thing, I'm facing the gummy part of it upward and face the wrong side, facing the wrong side. The next thing where I'm pointing is the under bust. Now the next thing is to trace from the under bust the shape of the side front. Do side front is what I'm doing, connecting that to the bust point all the way to the curved part of it. And this is how I do mine. I always like to do that together so I can get equal measurements. Traced from the under bust to the bust point and the full curve of this piece. The next thing is to shift it together. The point where I'm pointing now is the bust point. I'll go ahead and input my bust point measurement. Mine is half of it is 4.5. I have to add 0.5 inches to make it 5 in total. Now at the bust point, I have to mark 5 inches upward. I did the same thing to the other side. Then the inner from the bust point, I have to mark 5 inches inward. I'll do the same thing to the other side, marking 5 inches from the bust point to inward, and connect the dots together. Do the same thing to the other piece, connecting the dots together. And when you're done with that, I'll go ahead and start my cutting process. I always like to put the two side front together so I can be able to get it equally, like I mentioned earlier. I'll go ahead and cut it like so. And when I'm done with that, notch the bust point like so, the wrong side facing the wrong side. This is how I do that. Making sure that the sticking part is touching the wrong side of the fabric. I'll do the same thing to the other piece as well. The wrong side facing the wrong side. Let's move to the center piece. Here I'm trying to find out the bust point and under bust point where I notch that and place it. Then I have to take my pen and mark the bust point, the two sides, and also the two sides for under bust point. When I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and trace out the mark. Then after tracing that, I'll go ahead and shift the center front piece at the side and connect the lines under bust line first. And at the bust point part, here I'm going to input my half of my bust part measurement, which is 5 upward, starting from the bust point part. I'll do the same thing to the other bust point as well, marking 5 inches upward, and connect the bust lines together. And when we are done with that, the centerpiece padding is ready. The next one we're going to do now is go ahead and cut out the shape of this. Then after that, I have to bring out the center piece and place my padding. You can see now it's affecting the sweetheart shape. I'll go ahead and fold into two like so I can be able to cut the parts I don't need. Then unfold like this. I'll mark 2 inches downward, like you see me do. Then after marking that, I'll go ahead, trace it in a curve form. If you have a ruler, curved ruler, you can use that, but I prefer using free hands on this. So I'll go ahead and cut out the shape. Then after that, I have to open it up and see now it fits in there properly. The next one we're going to do now to go ahead and fuse the whole thing together. First, I have to fuse the padding before the ST. Now, let me show you what I did on the centerpiece now. I've done that already. What I did here, I ironed the first and go ahead and use the ST to cover all the piece and iron it properly. So this is how I achieved that. Then let me show you what I did on the two side fronts. Now I've gone ahead and ironed them. Then the next thing I did here to use the ST to cover the entire piece, using my hot iron to press it very well. All this will happen at the wrong side of this fabric. Okay, and when you're done with that, making sure that they stick very well, this process is fusing. I have to go ahead and fuse it together like I did at the center front piece. The next thing we're going to do now is split it into two like so. Then after that, I'll turn it to the right side of it and go ahead and cut out the excess fabric, the excess ST by the side. Then after cutting that, do the same to the other piece as well. You can see how smooth it turned out. Do the same thing to the other piece and you see that. Now next thing is to bring the whole three pieces together to go ahead and stitch it at one piece. Now we have done that. You can see our pattern is, the shape is looking neat and beautiful. The next thing we're going to do now, the point which my arrow is pointing, the open C part, I use part of the pieces from the ST and cover the open C, the sticking part of it. Use my iron to iron it very well, so it will give it a smooth, neat finishing inside. Now I place the tailor's arm underneath and use some piece of ST, placing the gummy part of it on it at that point with the open seam. You can see how I use the hot iron to fuse it, and that will give you a nice neat finishing inside of it. It's very smooth. Go ahead and cut out the excess of it. Now after pressing the inside and outside of this bustier, it will come out neat and beautiful. If you really find this tutorial helpful, please share my video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for your time. See you next time on my next video. Bye bye for now.